Sarala, you're speaking at SDX. We're so excited. Tell me, what is the core problem your talk is going to address?
I'm very excited to be talking. And I think that we have become addicted to certainty. We celebrate the people who sound the most confident, the ones who have the answer first. But when I look back at every meaningful breakthrough for me in my career, almost none of them came from my first answer. And they came from admitting I might be wrong. So the biggest mistake that I've made thousands of times isn't making bad decisions, but it's believing my first explanation. And my talk is really about learning to question your own thinking and how that can completely change the way that you solve problems, build systems, lead people, and honestly, especially for me, live your life.
I love that. And so, what makes this problem so difficult to solve?
Yeah, because your brain lies to you, right? Not maliciously, but efficiently. Because the first explanation feels right, not always because it is, but because our brains hate uncertainty. We want closure. It wants to move on. And the scientific method, which I go into as far as applying it here, is really a way of protecting yourself from your own certainty. And that's surprisingly difficult sometimes, especially when you're smart, especially when you're experienced, especially when people expect you to have the answer.
Right. I was going to say, this sounds so interesting. Like, who do you hope hears this message?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this applies to people who are just starting out. I started out really small and I was able to grow pretty quickly into a senior role where I'm managing a whole team, especially leaning upon this framework that I'm talking about. So I want to speak to those people that want to grow and they're still at the ground level. And I want to speak to people who maybe feel like they have plateaued or they want to understand how they can still be at the cutting edge, even though they're at a higher level in their career. I think it's for all types of levels.
And I love that you said we're addicted to, how did
Certainty.
you say it?
Addicted
Certainty.
to certainty. We are.
Certainty.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think it's natural. Our brains want to lean into that.
So, why do you feel an audience should care about this now?
Yeah, because AI changed the rules, right? Everyone is asking, how do I stay valuable? And in some ways, I think that they're asking the wrong question because answers have become incredibly cheap with AI. AI can summarize, brainstorm, explain, write, generate ideas much faster than any of us can. But it still can't decide which question is worth asking. That's still our job. And I actually think the value of our work is shifting there, not toward knowing more, but towards thinking better. And the people who thrive will be the ones who don't come up with the fastest answers, but they're the ones asking the questions that nobody else is asking.
I love that. Answers have become cheap. So,
Yeah,
more important than ever to really question the answers.
that's right. Yeah, answers are easy now, but questions are not.
Okay, so what do you hope people leave your session with when they come and attend in Chicago, SDX? What do you hope they walk out the door with?
Yeah, I don't want to give people just another productivity framework. I'm trying to give people a different way of thinking, which in today's world is something I think is really valuable and something that people can apply not just to their work, but everything in their lives. So I'm hoping that someone leaves my talk asking themselves, what have I not thought of yet? What ways am I not thinking of yet? In work and in personal life. And I honestly think that it'll change the trajectory of how people start to solve problems because it changed mine. So I'm speaking from a place of experience, and I really hope that people walk away with that.